I don't know who thought it would be a good idea for the country who started an illegal war of aggression against Iran to host the FIFA World Cup, but we're now in that position. The country that started this war, the country that on the first day of this war murdered 180 school children in Iran, the country that seemingly really wants to recontinue this war and has sent the 82nd Airborne Division now to Israel. The country that has placed countless sanctions on Iran, trying to starve their people, deprive them of basic goods, basic services, basic medical supplies, so on and so forth. Hosting Iran at the FIFA World Cup seems insane to me, but I definitely underestimated how insane it was going to get. And I'm sure it's probably going to get even more insane in the coming days as the FIFA World Cup is about to start. But first, I want to discuss exactly what is going on, what I mean by all of this, because it's not just ludicrous that they're hosting the FIFA World Cup at a time when FIFA itself says there should be no politics in FIFA, no politics in sport. You know, they love to talk about that line, that quote, which is actually in the guidelines of the charter of FIFA. No politics in FIFA. Whenever someone says Israel should be banned from FIFA, that's what they say. Of course, Russia is also currently banned from FIFA because they just so happen to decide to respond to years of NATO aggression and hybrid warfare against the Donetsk and Lugansk People's Republics, right? And this encroachment, NATO encroachment upon the Russian border. But even though Russia is banned for quote-unquote illegally invading Ukraine, as they say, that's what the claim is, right? The United States started an illegal war of aggression against Iran, and not only are they participating in the FIFA World Cup, they're hosting the FIFA World Cup, right? In the way that they've treated the Iranian national team from the Islamic Republic of Iran, Team Melli, as they're called, has been absolutely pathetic. The United States should not be hosting the FIFA World Cup. If anyone deserves a red card before the matches even begin, it is President Trump. Because the Iranian team, from the very start, was like, hey, maybe we shouldn't be playing our matches in the United States. They requested to FIFA to allow them to play in Mexico. FIFA said, no shot, you're going to be playing in the United States where you're scheduled to play. And I wish them all the best. On the 15th, they're going to be playing against New Zealand in Inglewood, California. Then they'll be playing Belgium in Inglewood. And then later on, they're going to be playing Egypt in Seattle. And I hope that they crush each one of their teams. I have no ill will to the players on those teams from those various countries, but it would be beautiful to watch. Unfortunately for the Iranian national team, Team Melli, they will not actually be living in the United States, despite the fact that most of the team and their staff have received visas now from the United States to actually travel to the United States. You may have seen that Iran's national team is staying in Mexico, to be more specific, in Tijuana, just south of San Diego, right below the border. That's because the Trump administration told the Iranian national team that they will not be allowed to stay in the United States. In fact, not only are they not allowed to stay in the United States, they have to travel to their games in Inglewood, California, the day of their matches. So, for example, they're going to have to travel, I can only imagine how many hours. You know, a normal day traveling from San Diego to Los Angeles would take maybe 3, 4, 5 hours, depending on if there's like really bad traffic on the I-5. But from Tijuana across the border in a bus, I would imagine they're not going to have any sort of police escort through any of the various counties they're going to be traveling through. It's going to be a very long ride. They're going to have to get up early, travel all the way there, and they're not going to be able to get acclimated. They're not going to be well rested. This is political harassment at a degree of which I don't think I've ever seen before in any sports organization. This is the first time since the inception of FIFA back in the 1930s when a host organization of the FIFA World Cup will be hosting a nation that they're currently at war with, let alone they started this war, right? Extremely criminal war, demonic war against the good people of Iran. But it's not just that. Not only will Iran be staying in Mexico, forced to stay in Tijuana, and then travel day of to Inglewood and to Seattle, and then leave the very same day, right? They're not going to have time to rest. They're going to have to go all the way back to Mexico the very same day of their matches. There's also other, foul play involved from the United States. The United States has denied visas for about 15 members of the Iranian support staff and even some of the coaching staff. 15 visas. They say, you're not going to come here. They say, we think you're maybe in some way connected to, Khamenei or the IRGC, so you can't come. This is ludicrous. If the United States is going to behave like this, why should they be allowed to host the FIFA World Cup? Why didn't they just allow Iran to play their matches in Mexico? Mexico said it was fine. FIFA, I'm sure, would have said it was fine, but it was Trump who intervened. Well, it seems to me as though the United States wants to try and humiliate Iran and force them into a position where they're going to be, they're going to be so restless, they're going to be so tired, they're going to be harassed to the point where they will fail when the day comes for them to perform in these matches. Now, I think that Trump is going to be seriously disappointed if he thinks this is some foolproof strategy, but we'll have to wait and see. Needless to say, I've never seen anything like this, and really, I mean, it's never happened before. Of course, we've had the full blanket bans of countries like Russia, but then to allow a country to play, and then you're going to say actually, we're just going to screw with you in every way imaginable. It's really insane. Now, there's other means of political interference. The players received their visas to the United States a day before they landed in Mexico, so some players didn't even know if they're actually going to be able to play in these matches or enter the United States. It's all ludicrous. It's all ludicrous. There's no justification for this whatsoever. And today we saw that the United States has banned the Iranian Football Federation from selling World Cup tickets that they are entitled to sell to Iranian fans. In fact, FIFA allocates 8% of the tickets for each participating team's matches to its national federation. Iran, they're going to, I guess, try to submit some sort of complaint to FIFA, but that has not worked any time over the past few weeks or months that they've been trying to alleviate some of these issues brought on to them by the Trump administration. But, these are tickets that are supposed to be sold to Iranian fans, Iranian citizens, people living in Iran, people who've already made travel plans, bought plane tickets, bought hotels, gotten their visas taken care of, right? And maybe in some cases, I'm sure, already bought the tickets. And now the U.S. is just saying, actually, no, we're going to take those tickets back and we're going to sell them to other people if we can. We don't really care. We just don't want Iranians there waving Iranian flags and showing support to Team Melli in Inglewood or in Seattle. And while Iran definitely has fared the worst when it comes to this political interference, political harassment from the United States, at a time when they have achieved the unthinkable, qualifying for the FIFA World Cup, at a moment like this when there's so much chaos being thrust upon them and their country by the United States, by Israel, and by Europe, right? We have seen other countries face similar issues. For example, Iraq. The Iraqi team, when they arrived, they went through 10 hours of interrogation. Their team photographer was banned from entering the U.S. despite the fact that he had a valid visa. A Somalian referee, it was Africa's first referee, and he was going to be the first referee to referee for a FIFA World Cup game. He had a diplomatic passport. So that's what foreign ministers use. That's what ambassadors, diplomats, executives of governments, that's what they use. And he was denied entry into the United States, despite the fact that he is already a referee. FIFA already chose him. He is Africa's first referee. And he had a diplomatic visa, meaning a visa that cannot be screwed with by the United States. His government gave him that. And the U.S. said, actually, we're going to send you back to Somalia. You cannot referee for the FIFA World Cup. Uzbekistan, their national team, also went through similar sorts of these crazy interrogations, basically strip searching, metal detection, holding them on the tarmac when their plane landed. Senegal went through the same exact thing. I mean, this is just egregious, it's egregious interference, political interference, xenophobia, racism, whatever you want to call it, right? The worst was Senegal. Senegal also went through all of this stuff. They were humiliated, strip search on the tarmac, metal detectors, this, that, and the third. Compare this video of the Senegalese team being welcomed in the United States to the Spanish team below being welcomed in Mexico, another host country of the FIFA World Cup. This FIFA World Cup is being co-hosted by Canada, the United States, who's going to be hosting the majority of the games in the final, as well as Mexico. And you see in Mexico, I mean, like, there's just like huge parties when the teams arrive. Mexico City, Monterrey, Guadalajara, these are the cities in which there's going to be matches played, and it's like such a vibrant, welcoming city, and everyone is so happy there, and you can really understand that that's how FIFA World Cup should be hosted. That is what a country should do for teams coming all across the world and fans coming all across the world. And in fact, to bring this all full circle, let's take a look at how Mexico has treated the Iranian national team, Team Melli, as they have arrived and begun their stay in Tijuana, Mexico. For starters, they were given a hero's welcome, no interrogation for 10 hours. They were not strip searched or placed through metal detectors or anything like that. And actually, the Mexican government has provided the Iranian national team with 300 National Guardsmen and military personnel to guard and protect them while they are on Mexican sovereign soil at any moment of the day. That is like more protection than President Claudia Sheinbaum gets at any one moment in time surrounding her and her current vicinity. 300 National Guardsmen and military personnel to protect the Islamic Republic of Iran's Team Melli. That is how you welcome a team. That is how you treat a nation and their people when they come to visit your land and participate in something like this, the FIFA World Cup. So what I've got to say is I can't really say I'm that surprised. The hypocrisy with FIFA and these international events in the United States, it's just endless. It's pathetic. It's embarrassing. It's humiliating. I love, the people in my country. I love so much about the history of our country, the United States. And I'm never one of these people that says, like, down with America. I'm an American. I say down with... I'm not like that, right? I think that's so stupid. Of course, down with our government. I have no kind words for our government. But in a moment like this, when our government is acting so absurd, so insane, and, like, no one on the U.S. team has come out and said anything like this is wrong, the way that the Iran team is being treated is unfair, it puts them at a disadvantage, this should be corrected. No one's come out and said that from what I've seen. Maybe I'm wrong, but from what I've seen, no one has said that. I hope this U.S. team, and I would never say this, right? I'm not like one of these people that says, like, down with America. But I hope this U.S. team gets their asses kicked. I hope Iran makes it as far as they can, and I hope the U.S. team gets their asses kicked, and I hope Trump is there to witness it. And I hope, icing on the cake, I hope it's like a nation from, like, a country that's like enemies with the United States. I hope it is an quote-unquote enemy country that just obliterates them. Because this is pathetic. How can you as an American in this host country, whether you are a player, whether you are a coach, how can you not say a word about the insanity, the way in which the Senegalese team is treated, the Uzbek team is treated, the Somalian ref is treated, and of course, the Iranian national team is being treated? How could you not say anything? It blows my mind. But I guess this is where sportsmanship is in the United States today in 2026. I hope the United States, until they learn what actual good sportsmanship is, hospitality is, what it means to truly welcome people from other countries that are coming to your nation. I hope that they never, ever, ever host the FIFA World Cup ever again. Mexico seems like a great country. Just, host it there again. In a few FIFA World Cups, host it there again. China would be a great option. Where else could we host it? North Korea. The New York Times just did an article about how North Korea is going through like an economic boom right now. And, they would be very welcoming to people across the world. I know that sounds maybe insane to people who are brainwashed and propagandized, but Russia's held it previously, before. The Iranian foreign minister, spokesperson, he came out today, Mr. Bakai, and he said, you know, like, Qatar hosted the FIFA World Cup last, and it was like orderly. Everything was clean. It was very nice. No political interference, really. And like, why can't we have that now? That's my question. That's my question. So I don't think I missed anything here. That's all I got to say. And anyways, I will see you all back here very soon. Thank you for watching.